Hello everyone, welcome back to a new play Xin Zhao every day until the release of Zaahen. This is day 30 and I thought since I'm in Master, why not upload a game on Legendary Ranked? So yes, we are playing on Legendary Ranked today and our lane opponent is Vi. One of the bane of my existence. So far I've been destroyed by a lot of Vi players and Jarvan players. Like every time I see them on the enemy team, I'm nervous because they just have a faster jungle clear, and also they have a pretty strong early level where they can actually easily outplay a Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao does have a lot of burst, however, compared to Vi, who has even more burst, it's just not like you just can't really win against like a scuttle fight, especially if she can clear her jungle faster. Whereas Jarvan is just a lot tankier, and if there are any teammates that come to assist the Jarvan, his flag actually just helps their teammates way too much. And as Xin Zhao, you're kind of left alone, and your burst is all you have. And in the early levels, though you're strong, you're not strong enough to just hard win against those engagements. Still, we have a decently okay comp, I will say. We have actually a very much scaling mid laner and ADC, while we have a Blitzcrank for support that has a good knockup where Yasuo can actually do some ultimate shenanigans, also with my own knockup and Aurelion Sol's knockup. So overall, our team is actually pretty decent. However, the enemy team does have quite a bit of utility, and I think anti-shield is definitely a considered item in this game. I'm not sure if I actually did it in this game, but looking back at it now, absolutely, like anti-shield is almost a must-buy. You kind of shut down Shen completely, you shut down the Lulu, you shut down the Vi as well with her passive shielding, where she, active shielding with her second ability. Here I see that the Shen is extremely low, and I see that actually Yasuo decided to take aggro for a second, so I immediately go for the kill. I was unable to escape with my life. However, this is actually a really good position for my Yasuo because he's able to actually deny almost an entire wave worth of minion afterwards. So this is actually a huge win. We also got first blood out of it, and I don't think I lost too much tempo by dying there. In fact, you could just say that this is like an extremely quick recall for my part, and Yasuo also got an assist. So overall, we got a lot of resources and gold just from that single fight, and I still am able to get the scuttle, so nothing much really is lost there. Ari hits an amazing charm on me, but because our skills are used, then Aurelion Sol was free to farm for that entire wave of minion, which is always great for scaling champions. And now there's still some time before my wolves spawn, so I did kind of inch towards the duo lane to see if there's an opportunity. However, simply just looking at the minimap, we can tell that the wave was completely pushed up on the enemy side, so it's going to be very difficult to dive them, especially with no minions on our side. So there's nothing much to do apart from going back to my jungle and just continue farming for more gold. I'm very ahead right now compared to the enemy team. It's only the Shen that is slightly ahead, who can be a threat, but not exactly the biggest threat of the enemy team. Because the one thing about Shen is that he wants to ult in to help his team. He kind of has to engage and then find a good timing to fall back and then ult his teammate. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to be too useful. Here I managed to, the Blitzcrank did a flash engage, which I was surprised by, so I didn't really actually help them. However, I do see that Lulu is extremely low, and she in fact left her laner alone. So I just kind of circle around the bush and just got picked off a very easy kill on the Caitlyn. So we're now 2-1-0, giving a lot of lane priority to the Kai'Sa. Lulu was forced to base, and I even get to steal the Crux from the Vi. Saw her kind of just lingering around the red buff, and so that means that she can't really be invading my own jungle. So immediately I path towards mid and protect the Aurelion Sols. I actually did it at the perfect timing because I saw Vi charging up her skill, and Aurelion Sol was 1 HP, and my presence there was enough to deter the enemy team from immediately going into the Aurelion Sol, so it gave him a chance to escape. Here I smited the red buff early because I just wanted to clear it a little faster, and hopefully my smite would have come up when I'm doing this Krugs, but it's not up by the time I did it, so I think it's just a little slower. If I smite the Crux, it would be easier. Yasuo actually needed a little bit of help, so he just ran into me. Extremely smart play by him. And the Vi and Shen were both a little too low or too low level to just fight me. And here I was unable to get the Scuttle Crab. However, I do want to look for an invade. And I do know that Vi does not have her ulti right now, her smite right now, because she just smited the Scuttle Crab, right? So instead, I just smited her Gromp, and now I'm 2 camps up compared to her because I stole her Crux and Crump. And here, Shen, I'm not sure what he's doing. He just used his dash on the minions, which do not work. But because he's so overextended, used his dash, and also he's kind of low HP, I might as well just flash in, stun him, and make sure that Yasuo also gets an assist. And once again, he loses an entire wave, and Yasuo is up there getting platings once again. And here I have to decide between boots, and yeah, as usual, I cannot decide whether or not I want to buy MR boots or attack reduction boots. So I just decided not to buy the boots yet. Instead, you see me immediately going for the anti-shield because the enemy team are starting to scale. Shen is becoming a bit of a problem. He's kind of roaming around the map. He immediately went from base to ult the dual lane where there was a gank happening, and there's nothing I can do about it. I was on the bot lane, I supported them, and I got a very good kill on the bottom lane. And our ADC was caught out by 4 people, which is not really their fault. Just because they're caught out doesn't mean they did anything wrong. If 4 people are collapsing on you, it's going to be very difficult to survive. So there's no blame there. Rather, it's just unfortunate that they have to make a sacrifice because of the plays that I made at downstairs. In fact, it's like just a good play from the enemy team. They managed to get something back while I got something else on the other side. But it doesn't really matter since Kai'Sa is always a scaling champion, and I make sure to just try to clear the wave without stealing Aurelion Soul's stacks. And here I was going to engage on the Ahri, but the turret was just a little too healthy for me to completely dive the Ahri. Instead, the Shen actually deterred me from completely diving any of the enemy team champions, and instead of just staying there for a fruitless endeavor, I decided that I'll just continue farming my own jungle. And during the entire kerfuffle with Kai'Sa dying, Yasuo actually already gotten the first turret. So even though my Rift Herald was not able to get the first turret, we still got the value out of it. And now I'm kind of hovering around to try to help our team. Blitzcrank gets another amazing flash hook. Holy shit, that was amazing. She got another flash grab, and Lulu was just completely destroyed from the enemy team. And we just got another assist, and Kai'Sa is going for Kraken Slayer. So her early game power is actually getting the power spike very early. Kraken Slayer is just a very good buy on Kai'Sa right now, from what I understand, because it's a very good early power spike. It goes well with her passive, and it's kind of cheap, so she gets her first enhancement really, really quick. And now I've gotten my what's that called? Cirilla's Crush? No. The anti-shield item. I forgot the name, sorry. Serpent's Fang. Yeah, the anti-shield item. So this basically shuts down the entire enemy team's front line. The Shen has no more shield, the Lulu has no more shield, the Vi has no more shield. The enemy team just become extremely squishy now, and that is kind of my role at this point. My damage is starting to fall off compared to the enemy team, and compared to the rest of my team's power. So all I have to do is just get rid of their shield, hit an amazing ultimate, maybe like hit everyone so that their shield is reduced, and my whole team will be able to finish them off. So right now, I just have to look to build even more damage, I think. I'm actually looking to buy the Maw of Morpheus for a moment there, because I wanted the lifeline shield, but then I decided, you know what? Enemy team has a Lulu, kind of tanky, a Shen, very tanky, and a Vi, which is even more tanky. Blade of the Ruined King might not be a terrible idea. I won't be able to sustain as a frontline for very long anyway, so doing as much damage as I can for my teammates to finish them off would be very good. And once again, the enemy team does a 5-man collapse on our dual lane, very unfortunate. But with the anti-shield, the enemy team has no way of fighting back, and me diving the turret there just allows our Aurelion Soul to secure the kill. So even though we lost our Blitzcrank, the enemy team lost 4 players. A very great trade for my team, and my team actually played really well. Our Blitzcrank did the amazing sacrifice of a support, where in turn we got their support back, and their Baron laner, and their jungler, and their dual laner. So amazing trade for my team, and that they are using the advantages that I've given them through the ganks very, very well. Our Yasuo is still being a split push threat. He's completely destroyed the second tier turret of the bottom lane at this point, and our teammates are looking to inch towards the mid tower. So during this time, of course, I cannot forget about farming my own jungle because that's where I can get strong as well. If I don't farm my own jungle, I will fall off even harder because Xin Zhao is going to be weak at level 13. Here, my teammates are kind of fighting around mid, which makes sense because Dragon is spawning up. Our Blitzcrank actually got a kill, and our Yasuo was just a little too squishy for the enemy team, but I'm once again arrive and save the day. We get 2 kills, including their jungler and their strongest support player, which is the Shen, and now we can just look for the dragon and deny the soul. So here I just decide I'm going to steal the enemy team camp first because, you know, it's about setting the enemy teams behind, and I have no smite. I have to remind my team about it, but there's no way the enemy team can easily steal this anyway. And our team is actually looking really good. We have turret advantage. We have not fallen a single tower yet, and we have a lot of kill advantage. Our Kaisa has been accelerated, our Aurelion Soul has been accelerated. He didn't die at all. He played his lane really well, even though he got very low. I was there to support him at the crucial moment. Our Yasuo is still making great plays, even though he just died. And I mean, he got collapsed on by 5 people. It's really difficult for him to survive. In fact, I think he did quite a bit of damage before he died. So he did his job already, and I got some items that can support my teammates. And here I bought Blade of the Rune King because I really needed to shred these tanks. I think the best way for me to play the game right now is just to do a very classic front to back. There's no reason for me to just dive into the enemy back line because the Ahri can assassinate my teammates very well, and the last thing I want is that. So I just have to deal with Vi, who has a lot of forward mobility to destroy my back line. I just need to protect my backline. I think that's the summary of what I was going to say. Protecting my backline will allow for us to win because I am no longer the winning condition. We are hitting level 13, and we got another pick on the enemy ADC, so might as well get started on the Baron Nashor. And here, as you can see, Ahri dashes in, immediately goes for our backline, which is the things that she's supposed to do. But Yasuo sacrificed himself to protect the backline, and our Kaisa is just going ham. She's going chasing down that Ahri, not giving her a single inch, and then Lulu was also dead. So Yasuo once again sacrificed himself for the greater good. Just because he's dying does not mean he's making a wrong play. He actually zoned out the enemy long enough for us to regroup and kill the entire enemy team. And now Kaisa is being a little overzealous, going for the enemy team jungle and minions instead of helping us with the Baron Nashor. However, Aurelion Soul does have quite a bit of damage. Shen does the correct play, pushing the turret and just hoping to equalize the situation the best he can while we get the Hand of Baron buff. Now, once again, I'm slowly waiting to push out the lanes, so I'm going to go clear my jungle as well. It doesn't really matter for Yasuo to be stealing my jungle right now. I'm not too butthurt about it because we're already very much winning, and he has been making a lot of great plays, honestly. And he also needs the money because Yasuo can scale a lot better than me. If he can survive longer, he can do more damage than me, while I kind of fall off after my burst damage. So here I'm kind of trying to lead up this top lane where I can get the tower. I'm one of the champions that can kind of survive on my own. Yasuo is a little too squishy, and here I actually was waiting for Aurelion Soul to get his stacks, so I was not hitting the minions at all for a while. Here I see Blitzcrank was in a little bit of trouble, so I kind of path down and make sure that I'm there to support my teammates if they need it. Shen dives in. I don't think he has the ability to kill my teammates, so instead I just stay at the front line and make sure to zone the enemy team out. The Lulu uses ulti on the Shen instead of the carries, which is the Vi or any of the hard carries. So I did my job and I just flashed back behind because I'm not exactly the tankiest either because I'm building Blade of the Rune King and Serpent's Fang. But at this point, building full damage is better than building tank because I won't be able to tank much of the damage. Vi does percentage health damage, and then Ahri has true damage. Shen does percentage health damage. There's not really a point. Rather, if I build burst damage, I'll be able to help the team a lot better. Here, I'm looking for the Wind Becomes Lightning to Audacious Charge, but Vi runs out of the range just in time while the turret dies. So now we can push up the mid lane as well. Mid inhibitor is actually already down. I thought it wasn't down yet. My bad. But yeah, this Baron Nashor, we got multiple kills, and we even got 2 inhibitors, which is extremely good. And my teams know to disengage. My team knows to disengage rather than continue to fight, and we actually delayed long enough just to get their entire jungle as well. So this is actually looking really good for us. And right here, I actually based through Vi's Q, first ability. So I was hoping that she would hit me and stop me so that I would protect my teammates, but instead I was successfully based while my teammates got killed. So that's very unfortunate. I get the red buff for my teammates because they are chasing people down. So getting that red buff would be extremely good. Here I get the scuttle just for the vision and a bit of gold, and now our entire team is very fed, as you can see. I'm not sure if this is really a legendary ranked game at this point. Caitlyn is actually building on hit, which is certainly an interesting choice. I'm not sure if the headshot actually gets duplicated by a Rage Blade if he's going to build Rage Blade. But anyway, I'm not too sure Caitlyn is the best choice for on-hit builds. I think her crit is actually a lot better. But the enemy team is not exactly playing too well. I don't think the Vi ganked too well in the early game, where she is the strongest. She has the ability to just lock some players down. But instead, she kind of missed out on quite a few ganks or counter gank opportunities. She got one of the scuttles, but then she got 2 camps stolen by me. So I will say I did play well, now that I think about it, to deny the Vi many farms, but then she wasn't able to do her ganks very well to get her Caitlyn or her Ahri ahead, especially with Aurelion Sol, who's more vulnerable in the early game. She wasn't able to shut him down early. And here I try my best to protect the Kai'Sa, an amazing stasis and flash from the Kai'Sa to escape the battle. Extremely well played from my team. Yasuo gets an amazing ultimate onto the Vi. She has no chance of surviving, and the minions are pushing up to the Nexus right now. So this is probably the end of the game, and thank you so much for watching. I got an amazing team this time. I was able to bring them ahead, and they know how to use their advantage well. I will say the enemy team does not know how to respond to our invades and our plays at all. So very unfortunate, the enemy team Shen does not know how to play Shen at all, using his E randomly on the wave. So once again, a low quality game kind of, because the enemy team doesn't know really what they're doing, even though this is legendary ranked. But very well played from my team. I'm not taking away from their efforts, and anti-shield was just the best buy and smartest buy of my career. So after 30 days of Xin Zhao, we have Hitmaster and are able to play legendary rank. We might be able to move on to ADC now, but we'll see about that, and I'll see you again tomorrow.